At my last assignment at St. Hilary, there was a legendary pastor over there. His name was Father Paul Daig. Everyone called him Father Poopsie, though. Father Poopsie literally built the church over there at St. Hilary, and he built all the other buildings. When the parish was first founded, he actually had to go to a abandoned hotel and say Mass at an abandoned hotel before the church was built. He was there over 30 years, so that's why it's called a legendary priest. So Father Alex's 10-month here doesn't count as a legendary priest, I'm sorry to say. Father Paul was a financial genius. He actually, there was a story, there was an old joke about him that in the morning whenever he woke up, instead of picking up his breviary, his prayer book first, he would pick up the Wall Street Journal first, because he loved to do investments, he loved to do stocks. He was actually a millionaire whenever he passed away, and I know you think, priest being a millionaire, that's very humbling in that way. He invested a lot of different things, and he found out what was good to invest, and he would constantly keep track of the stock market, but he lived a very frugal life as well. There was once a story of one of his associates who saw this old dirty paper towel sitting on top of the microwave, and he seen it and he was like, oh, that's nasty, so he threw it away. And Father Paul came in and actually chastised him because that was his paper towel that he would use to wipe off his bacon in the morning, and he threw it away only once a week. He didn't throw it away every once at a time. My brothers and sisters, in our gospel today, we hear of this story of Jesus and Zacchaeus, and we hear of an investment that is made. I think we have to understand that in the political terms, for Jesus to go and enter into the house of a tax collector, for to be friendly with a tax collector was very damning. It was very damaging to his reputation in that way. Be like me actually hanging out with Father Alex every occasion I got, It's very damaging to my reputation. And yet he invested anyway. I'm sorry, I apologize. I prayed before Mass that I wouldn't hammer him too hard, but I couldn't help myself. Jesus invested anyway. He invested because he saw something in Zacchaeus. He saw a movement of faith within him. What is that movement of faith? He was willing to climb a tree just to be close to Jesus in that way. In our own lives, my brothers and sisters, Jesus invests in all of us, whether we are good investments or bad investments. Sometimes Jesus loses and sometimes Jesus wins, right? Sometimes we prove ourselves to be bad investments. No matter how much grace we are given, we prove ourselves to be bad investments. And yet sometimes we surprise, right? Sometimes we turn away from the sinfulness that is in our lives. We turn away from the things that keep us from Jesus, and we embrace God. That is what the beauty of the sacraments that we receive, the beauty of this church, but the beauty of God's love, right? That he's continually willing to give it, even if it seems like a long shot, even if it seems like the investment will pay off. For ourselves, though, we have to be good investments, right? We have to prove ourselves. We have to climb the sycamore tree. Sometimes that's easier said than done. I don't know about you, but I tried to climb a tree once, and it was very, very difficult. I don't have those spiderweb feet like some of the young people do. It is our job to try to climb it, though. It is our drive to try to prove ourselves as good investments, to continue to act as if we were worthy of the grace that God is giving us, even though we may not be worthy of that grace. Yet God continues to give it. And so, my brothers and sisters, as we come to receive more grace from God through the sacrament of the Eucharist, let us continue to try to live lives worthy of the kingdom. Let us continue to try to be good investments. Let us also invest in those that may seem like long shots. For if God is willing to invest in us, how much more should we invest in those that may not produce much fruit?